The MCU's magic may be waning, but did the Marvels just save it? No, no, it didn't. But it wasn't an awful movie. Generic, but fairly enjoyable. Let's get the spoiler free review started. Hey yo, what's good? Welcome to The Gist. With me, Jared. The Marvels is the indirect semi-sequel to 2019's Captain Marvel. This installment in the MCU brings the team up of Carol Danvers, Monica Rambeau, and Kamala Khan.
Higher. Further. Faster.
I was pretty eager for this movie. I liked the first Captain Marvel, I enjoyed Monica Rambeau's appearance in WandaVision, and I found the Miss Marvel series pretty entertaining, for the most part. With that said, The Marvels is just alright. Not marvelous, but not horrible. The best part of the movie for me was the Khan family. Their comedic relief, dynamic with the other characters, and chemistry was just as good as it was on the Miss Marvel series. You don't necessarily have to have seen Captain Marvel 1, WandaVision, or Miss Marvel to follow along with this movie. There are some backstory scenes and dialogue provided in the Marvels that can help you get caught up, and this is a fairly contained semi-sequel. There were a good amount of your typical MCU jokes, lightheartedness, and one-liners. Most of the jokes worked for me, but there were times where the dialogue felt a bit forced. With this being a more lighthearted MCU movie, there was a considerable amount of suspension of disbelief and logical jumps that I had to take. One of my pet peeves in a movie is when a character somehow learns a new skill in a matter of moments, and then somehow bests another character more experienced in said skill. For example, Kamala, a teenager, a high schooler, somehow knows physical combat enough to best a Kree soldier. Thankfully, there was another sequence in the movie where our Marvel trio practices their teleportation entanglement, which led to a decent payoff in the latter part of the film. I found the action sequences okay. None of them were really exhilarating for me. Similarly, I didn't find the villain of this film compelling or sinister. Their motivation and the attempt for a sympathetic angle didn't click for me. I didn't really feel the stakes, the danger, or the threat to our heroes and what they cared about. I didn't even pick up on the villain's name until after the movie, researching for this video. Very villain of the week vibes for me. I did like the pacing and runtime of this movie. It's refreshing to have a movie that's less than 2 hours these days. Even though The Marvels leans into the comedic and lighthearted element often, there is a specific sequence that got too ridiculous for me. I didn't find the bit all that funny, and I think way too much time was spent on it. Narratively, there is little to no significance to the plot points in The Marvels. It's an inconsequential movie that might have future implications to whatever direction the MCU is going in, but even that's a stretch. I didn't find any aspects of the character development that left me wanting for more.
Strong theory.
There are a few spoilers that I'd like to mention. The song and dance number was surprisingly funny. Definitely not for everyone, but I liked that they went for it, and it landed for me. Even Kamala Khan's fangirlness for Captain Marvel was enjoyable. But again, you'll either like it or you'll hate it.
Oh my god, we're a team.
I didn't like the Flirkin litter scene, however. That got way too ridiculous for me. There was enough comedic relief in the Marvels, and this part was completely unnecessary. I did like the additional layers that we got to the cosmology in the MCU, even though that you have to take logical jumps to believe them. Understanding the fallout between Captain Marvel and the Kree was interesting. Seeing her go from annihilator to potential savior was a nice touch, but honestly, most of the moments in the movie that went for the emotional tug didn't resonate with me. I still find myself trying to give the movie credit in what they were showing, despite the lackluster execution. It was predictable that Monica wouldn't make it through the film. I like that they're building up the multiverse for the inevitable incursions and secret wars. It was cool seeing Beast and another Maria Rambeau from another Earth. I'm really hoping they lean towards the Jonathan Hickman run and storyline of Secret Wars, but admittedly, I'm keeping my expectations pretty low. Also, I get why the MCU is going the Young Avengers route, but it's truly not my cup of tea. So I'm not at all interested in a Young Avengers team-up movie or series. And that's the gist to my thoughts on The Marvels. This movie is decent. It's nothing groundbreaking, exhilarating, or compelling. It's a pretty safe and generic comic book superhero movie that, if you got some time and are interested, you may want to give it a shot. But I'm honestly not too pressed that I took my time in waiting to go and see it. What did you think of The Marvels? What do you think the MCU needs to do to get the magic back? Hit me up. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I'll catch you next time on The Gist.